come up with a crazy idea, and then go after it with everything you've got.
Completely forgot. So let me backtrack a little bit. Yeah, what happened was like 3/4 of the way through the first day, I was flying through the course, hit a huge ditch, and there was an immediate uphill climb. And I ended up stalling the bike out on this uphill climb. Collapsed under the weight of the bike because I was just exhausted. I couldn't pull the bike off course. I knew some trophy trucks were coming up behind me, so I stepped back, waved a few of them past, and one of the other ones just came ripping through, drove right up on top of the bike. I saw two helmets turn and look at me. I was like, oh, come on. They backed up off the bike and took off again, and it was the funniest thing I had seen in a long time. It kind of made me laugh while I was standing there because I was so exhausted, and I was just like, why? What else is going to happen today? So I pulled the bike off course, got it running. I was surprised it fired right back up and took off on it. It was making a lot of noise, but at that point, if the bike was still moving, I was gonna keep going down the course. So we hit a couple more pits. I think I ended up driving the bike another 100 some odd miles after that. I did run the bike out of gas during the day. I had to hitchhike down the road. I just walked off course for a ways, found a road, started walking towards the pit, which direction I knew it was in. Of all people that picked me up was Casey and his wife. Casey is the creator and organizer of the Best in Desert Racing Association, and that was just so cool. So he gave me a ride to the pit, we got fuel, went back to the bike. He wouldn't let me carry the gas can, which was hilarious. He kept saying that I need to save my energy, and I did need to save my energy. Because I needed every bit of it and then some. So Casey carried my gas can, which was super awesome. So thank you very much, Casey. You're an awesome guy. I can't say that enough. I do it no justice. He is incredible. Like the things that he has organized throughout the years is unbelievable. Yeah, so the second day, we ended up sleeping in the truck and outside the truck. We started off, it was a good morning, you know, I felt good. The bike was a little banged up, but for the most part I was able to run pretty fast. I went through miles and miles and miles of sand, and it seemed like dried up riverbed. The next day the course changed quite a bit. It was a lot more aggressive and rutted up. I think they had used it for other race truck series or something went through there, so the course was just way more technical the next day. Not as many high-speed burns and stuff like that. I did crash plenty of times just because the bike, it's great, but the suspension and the everything, the weight and the power, it's so hard to pull it around. And I'm not upset at all about how the bike worked because I knew well in advance getting into this race that it's not meant for this kind of stuff. So I did crash quite a bit. It's just you can't help it. You can only go so fast through the sand, and like 400 pounds ripping through the sand, at 15 miles an hour is way different than a race bike, flying through the sand, skipping above it all. I'm plowing through it. So I mean, I just was left and right eating dirt, and it was fun. Crashed plenty of times. Trying to think of memorable crashes. I think the second day is one where I hurt my foot and my leg. I crashed so hard this one time that I ended up laying there for about 10 minutes just kind of laughing at how much pain I was in. I left the bike running, I just laid there and thought to myself, this is what you wanted. This is what you paid for, to be here doing this kind of stuff. So it was hilarious. I kind of snapped out of it, picked the bike back up and kept going. Made it to another pit, and eventually I got to a checkpoint, and I think they wanted to pull me off course just because for safety reasons. I mean, I was lagging behind everybody. The bike was lugging. It was just getting harder and harder to get to the pits, and the checkpoints and stuff like that was taking longer, and the course was getting way worse at that point. So that was fine with me. I wanted to keep going. I felt very confident that the bike itself would make it through the entire course. It just was having a hard time keeping up at a race pace, to remain competitive. That was a tricky part, you know, taking a bike that's not meant for that kind of stuff and running it in a race where you need every advantage that you can get. So that's why they decided to pull me off the course, which was fine. I was exhausted. The bike was just beat beyond belief at that point. So I just kind of went off on my own for a little while. Took a nice time ripping around before I even went and got back to the pit. Just because the scenery I was in, it was gorgeous. So I spent some time running around. It was nice to finally be off course where these trophy trucks weren't mowing you down every 10 seconds. So yeah, I got to run around for a little bit, enjoy the bike out in this beautiful scenery, and then I eventually made my way back to the pits. We hung out for a little while, dumped tons of water on my head, and had a couple beers. Just I'll watch some of the trucks run by. That was it for the second day. We went into Reno and hung out for the evening, just for the awards the next day. I'm sure there is going to be plenty of things that I am just completely forgetting to talk about. So if there's any questions or anything that you feel like you want to ask me, please feel free. I can't thank everyone enough for just getting involved or being supportive and stuff like that. So please, yeah, if there's anything you guys want to know or anything like that, just shoot me a message. And yeah, I'd be happy to answer any questions. I feel like I'm not talking about the performance of the bike enough. I was really impressed with how the bike handled. Maybe not handled. It didn't handle that great in those conditions. What it did do is last quite a long time with me. Just I think I was riding the line with the bike. So I'm very impressed with how long the bike lasted, is what I'm saying. Is I was throwing everything that you could possibly throw at that bike, and it allowed me to keep going down this course. So I couldn't be happier with how the bike held up over, I think it was just under 16 hours that I was out on the course. So all in all, I would say I'm very happy with the performance of the bike. It is the first generation of the RX3, so I mean, I guess I couldn't really expect too much from it, but one thing I am really excited about is the future of the bike. I think that there's some serious potential. I think that it can become a pretty incredible motorcycle. And I'm saying this, I'm not sponsored by Zongshen. I owe nothing to CSC. There's no sponsorship there whatsoever. I'm just saying that this bike that we have, know, and enjoy is the real deal. It might be a little slow, it might be a little heavy, it might not have the greatest suspension, but as far as an adventure bike goes, it's a pretty incredible bike. And I can honestly say that I will always have a space for one in my garage in the future. So yeah, I'm really happy with how things turned out in the Best in Desert. I did not complete, but as far as I'm concerned, myself, along with the RX3, my family and friends completely won out there in the desert during this race. I got everything I ever wanted out of it. I got my little barbed wire trophy, which is all I need. and I'm really happy about that. So, like I said, if anyone has any questions or anything like that, or if I can add any more, if they have an idea for a video or something like that, like I said, I'm sure I'm skipping over tons of stuff. So I hope everyone's happy with how everything turned out. I couldn't be happier. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen with the RX3, what else I can get into. And yes, I am going to race again. It's not necessarily going to be with the RX3 in a stock state of, but yeah, I'm going to see what we can do as far as doing some modifications and stuff like that with the bike. Now I'm excited to maybe do some competing and placing, actually. So I'm going to leave it there. I will see everyone soon, and yeah.